Hello friends, I'm Dr. Nankishore. In one of my earlier videos, I spoke about how to stay fit during quarantine and lockdown period. In that video, I tried to tell you about how to calculate basal metabolic rate, body mass index. We also have seen about the nutritional calorie value about some common food items, and we also touched about some of the exercises to be done to remain fit. I hope you like the video. This time around, I'm going to speak to you about age-specific exercises. In a way, it's an extension of the earlier concept. Okay, what are the age-specific exercises? How much of it should be done? What is MHR? What is THR? I will try to simplify the things for you. Having an exercise schedule is undisputable because that's the key to have a hassle-free and enjoyable life. So let us start.
What's a physical activity? Physical activity is a movement that enhances health. You don't need to plan physical activity. You are going from one place to another becomes a physical activity. Doing household chores becomes a physical activity. Exercise, in fact, is a physical activity that is planned and structured. Before embarking upon your exercising schedule, you need to understand two terms. One is MHR, that is maximum heart rate, the other one being target heart rate. The MHR is the upper limit of what your cardiovascular system can handle during physical activity, and it is recommended that you exercise within 55 to 85% of your maximum heart rate for at least 20 to 30 minutes to get the best results from aerobic exercise. Now, let us try to understand how to calculate maximum heart rate. It's a simple formula, 220 minus your age. So let's take an example. If you are 30 years old, your maximum heart rate would be 220 minus 30 equals 190. Now the target heart rate would be 55% to 85% of MHR. Now in this example, the target heart rate would be 104 per minute to 160 per minute. Now if you are a beginner, you should target 104 per minute, and if you are already into it, your target should be 160 per minute. Let us come to the types of exercises. Broadly, we are dividing them into four. Exercise number one, it's a moderate intensity physical activity. It's an aerobic activity that increases a person's heart rate and breathing to some extent. The type of moderate intensity physical activity are brisk walking, dancing, swimming, bicycling on a level terrain, pushing a grocery cart around a store, gardening, hiking, jogging, running, water aerobics or swimming laps, skateboarding, ballroom dancing, aerobic dancing, tennis, soccer, hockey, and basketball. The type of exercise number two is vigorous intensity physical activity. It's an aerobic activity that greatly increases a person's heart rate and breathing to a substantial extent. For example, jogging, singles tennis, swimming continuous laps, bicycling uphill, aerobic dancing, tennis, soccer, hockey, and basketball. Some of the activities like soccer, hockey, and basketball are repeated. It all depends on the intensity with which you play the game. Types of exercise number three. It's a muscle strengthening activity, a physical activity that increases skeletal muscle strength, power, endurance, and mass. For example, strength and resistance training, muscular strength, endurance exercises, push ups and sit ups, lifting weights, climbing stairs, and digging in the gardens. Type number 4. It's a bone strengthening activity. For example, in running, jumping rope, and lifting weights. Remember, muscle and bone strengthening activities also can be aerobic depending on whether they make your heart and lungs work harder than usual. For example, running is both an aerobic activity and a bone strengthening activity. And last but not the least, a word about stretching. Stretching is not actually a type of exercise, but stretching helps improve your flexibility and your ability to fully move your joints. Touching your toes, doing side stretches, and doing yoga exercises are examples of stretching. So, how does it help? It reduces coronary heart disease risk factors. It can lower blood pressure and triglycerides, both are important causative factors for heart disease. It can raise HDL cholesterol levels, which is supposed to be a good cholesterol in your body. It helps your body manage blood sugar and insulin levels, which lowers your risk for type 2 diabetes. It reduces levels of C-reactive protein in your body. It helps reduce overweight, and it may help you quit smoking. Smoking is a major risk factor for coronary heart disease. Let us come to the age groups. They are generally divided into four. One is the preschool children 3 to 5 years. Group number 2 is children and adolescents 6 to 17 years. Number 3 is adults 18 to 65 years. And number 4 is senior citizens above 65 years. Now let us come to the specific age groups. Preschool children, there is nothing much to be said. 3 to 5 years. They can engage in physical activity every day throughout the day and active play through a variety of enjoyable physical activities. The second age group, children and adolescents 6 to 17 years. This is an age group of growing people. What they require is a moderate and vigorous intensity physical activity every day for 60 minutes, which makes it almost 300 minutes per week. Vigorous activity like running or playing soccer, muscle strengthening like climbing or push-ups, and bone strengthening like gymnastics or jumping rope. It's important to encourage young people to participate in physical activities that are appropriate for their age, that are enjoyable, and that offers variety. The third age group, adults 18 to 65 years, they require at least 150 minutes a week of combination of vigorous and moderate intensity activities such as brisk walking, dancing, gardening, hiking, swimming, cycling. Aerobic activity should be performed in bouts of at least 10 minutes duration. At least 2 days a week of activities that strengthen muscles and activities to improve balance, such as standing on one foot. For additional health benefits, adults should increase their moderate intensity aerobic physical activity to 300 minutes per week or engage in 150 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity per week or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activity. Coming to the last age group, 65 and above. If you have heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, chest pain, vertigo, ask your doctor what type of physical activities are safe for you. Older adults should follow the adult guidelines. When they cannot meet the adult guidelines, they should be as physically active as their abilities and conditions will allow. They should determine their level of effort for physical activity relative to their level of fitness. And lastly, the guidelines for women during pregnancy and soon after delivery. Get your doctor into confidence about the safe physical activities to do during pregnancy and after delivery. If you are healthy but not already active, do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity each week. If possible, spread this activity across the week. If you are already active, continue being active as long as you stay healthy and talk with your doctor about your activity level throughout your pregnancy. After first trimester of pregnancy, you shouldn't do exercises that involve lying on your back, and no activities in which you might fall or hurt yourself, such as horseback riding, downhill skiing, soccer, and basketball.
So what have we learned today? Number one, always have an exercise schedule. Number two, always calculate BMR, BMI, MHR, and THR. Number three, always choose an exercise that suits your age. In your over enthusiasm, never exceed your target heart rate, for it will put unnecessary burden on your heart. Exercise should never be treated as a compulsion. It should be an enjoyable experience. If you like the video, you appreciate and share it, kindly subscribe to my channel if you want to remain updated about what's happening in the world of medicine. Thank you.